Hi, welcome to the show. There are now new developments into that 6-year-old who shot the teacher back on January 6th. Now, there's new developments in this. We now know that the lawyer is planning on we now know the lawyer and the teacher are filing a lawsuit against the school district for their negligence in what happened. Now, there were 4 employees in this case. Not one, not two, not three, 4 teachers. First teacher went in and said, the first teacher was Abby Swarner, who said, we need to search his backpack. Administration was like, nope. Second one, same thing. Nope. Third one, nope. Leave me alone. Fourth, just deal with it after class. Why wasn't there a lockdown? Why wasn't there an evacuation? Nothing is being happening. Tonight, there is now a statement from the family of the 6-year-old. Now we get to hear one side of the story. Will we ever find out why this 6-year-old kid brought a gun to school? Here's Julie Millett.
On Thursday, we got some answers from the accused shooter's parents. In a statement today, they explained that their child suffers from what they call a, quote, acute disability. They said he was under a special care plan at the school, which included one of his parents accompanying him to class each day. They said the week of the shooting was the first time their child went to school without them. They said, quote, we will regret our absence on this day for the rest of our lives. We spoke to a lawyer who specializes in student discipline and special education matters, but who is not working on this case. He said it sounds like this student qualified for what's called an individualized education program, or an IEP.
If he has significant behaviors, then he should have had a one-on-one aide escorting him to school.
The statement also said that teacher Abby Werner, quote, selflessly served our son and has worked diligently and compassionately to support our family as we sought the best education and learning environment for our son. While we don't know how many school employees were working with the child, Howard says it's a burden that shouldn't have been placed entirely on Werner's shoulders.
We're still not paying teachers a living wage, but you expect them to work miracles when you have kids with complex disabilities.
As for the other big question in this case, how the child got a hold of a weapon and managed to get it into his classroom, well, we still don't have the answer to that. The statement simply says, quote, our family has always been committed to responsible gun ownership and keeping firearms out of the reach of children. The firearm our son accessed was secured. Today and tomorrow, Newport News Public Schools are offering emotional support services for students and families at Rich Neck Elementary. Details about how to attend those are on our website. I'm Julie Millett, 10 on your side.
So now we know, but we don't know why he got the gun. But maybe he should have watched Eddie Eagle. Now, if you remember our special Guns in America, A Day in a Life, we focused in on kids and guns. This 6-year-old was very similar to what happened. Now, within the Crumley's case, they failed to search the backpack because they just wanted him back to class. And hadn't the parent or parents known about that gun, searched his backpack before he went in, there would never have been a school shooting. And hadn't the school been on a lockdown or they would have searched the backpack, none of this mess would have happened. Letter would have been brought home to parents. And now I'm glad the lawyer is suing the school district for what happened here, because a lot of times it's all like, I don't really know what it's all like. Here's a portion of gun safety with Eddie Eagle.
Oh, yeah. Eddie was in charge of the entire gun safety department. Let's see what Eddie's up to now. Yeah, Eddie, what's up? What's up? Well, I am, as a matter of fact, about 50 stories, straight up. Whoa, hey! No! Eddie, what's wrong? Oh, just some stray balloons cluttering up the airways. Talk about a busy morning, though. What happened? Well, I was making my rounds in the countryside. when through the open window of an attic, I spied 5 or 6 kids looking all around, really excited about neat stuff they'd found. Grandma's attic was full of fun things. Lots of old boxes, all tied up with string. There was a clock, and a globe, and a trunk full of hats, and an old radio, and a baseball bat. Oh, and an out-of-tune guitar. Boy, they were having fun. And then, behind the broom, I saw the gun. At just that moment, the kids saw it too. I didn't wait. I knew what to do. Stop! Don't touch! I'm an eagle, and I like it too much to see you get hurt, and that's why I say, if you spot a gun, just walk away. Go find an adult, go tell him what you found. Guns shouldn't be left lying around. Yeah, stop! Don't touch! Leave the area, tell an adult. Do it with me now, stop! Don't touch! Leave the area, tell an adult. All right. The kids told their grandma, and I knew my work was done. Now they know what to do if they see a gun.
And you will too as parents. So if you find Eddie Eagle, look it up on YouTube. If you have the VHS, show it with your kids. Or watch our Give Me a Break special from back last season called Guns and American Day in Real Life. I'm going to make a playlist, and we'll have that playlist for you on the annotation. But still ahead, a look into juvenile correction centers. We're going to take you to Arizona, to where you'll meet some inmates who have lots of stories to tell, rap sheets bigger than some cards. But next, the big question ever. Why are CD prices so high when they only cost about 50 cents to $1 to make? You may be surprised by the answer. Stay with us. Do you buy CDs? Maybe you bought them like these, just regular CDs. Or maybe you bought them digitally on Amazon, or listen to those music streaming services like Spotify. But what if I told you, what if we were to tell you that it only costs about $1 to make? One CD for 50 cents to $1 to make. So why are CD prices so high when it only costs about that much money to make? The answer may have you not wanting to buy CDs. Here's Josh Mankiewicz.
It takes only a few minutes to turn a little plastic into a compact disc and send it on its way to a rendezvous with your plastic. Americans bought more than 700 million of these last year. Many of them ended up in Brian Belknap's apartment. How many do we have now?
There's somewhere between 800 and 900.
Brian makes lattes for a living. And you're making how much an hour?
About $9.70 with tips, something like that.
How do you do it?
I don't know. I spend most of my money on CDs. I don't really spend it on much else.
Brian likes CDs, and the record companies like Brian. In fact, they like anyone who can whip out $16 for the latest thing from Sting. But the thing is, while CDs cost anywhere from $13 to $20 to buy, they're only 50 cents to $1 to make. So why do they cost you so much? That's a good question. CDs hit the marketplace in 1983. A marriage of music and money at the corner of Hollywood and vinyl. At first, they cost around $20 because the technology was so new, so expensive. But record companies promised the price would soon come down. And it did, until CDs became the industry standard. Then the price began to rise again, and soon, like the Cranberries, consumers were whining. CD prices.
Incredible. Outrageous.
Does $15.99 seem like a lot of money for a CD?
Yes.
You know, they cost about $1 to make.
Okay, so case closed.
Have you noticed that the price of new CDs has been going up over the last couple of years?
And that's why I haven't bought any lately.
If CDs cost less than $1 to make, why do they cost $15, $16, $17 to buy?
Seems like a fair margin to me.
Michael Sukin is a music industry lawyer and a former record company executive.
Yes.
And like most record company executives, he says a CD costs much more than just the raw materials.
There's all the stuff that goes into marketing it, promoting it, producing the record. So the record companies put out hundreds or thousands of records a year. There's an enormous investment, which they have to recoup off the winners, because the losers, they can't recoup any of this money.
In other words, when you're paying top dollar for that Blues Traveler CD, you're also helping A&M Records bring America the Ass Ponies. The Ass Ponies. I wonder when they were coming out with a new one. But that still doesn't explain why CDs cost so much more than cassette tapes.
They make the charge more if it costs more than a cassette to make it.
It costs about the same.
Really?
Yes, really. Cassettes and CDs cost almost exactly the same to manufacture. And it also costs the same to produce and advertise an album, whether it's a $9.98 cassette or a $15.98 CD. A huge price difference for the same musical product.
Is it worth it to you? I mean, honestly, look at me, tell me the truth.
I mean, you're buying it for your
I'm
girlfriend.
buying it for my girl, but I feel awful. I need to vent this on somebody. Help me out, man. Do you feel awful for me for doing this?
$23 seems like a lot for ABBA.
For ABBA? Come on. Aren't they dead?
No, they're probably headed for the ATM. The more successful an act is, the more money it brings in. If you've got a top dollar contract like Janet Jackson's, you get rich. But more often, it's the record company and not the performer who gets rich when you buy a CD.
The fact of the matter is that once a record company begins to make its money back on its investment on an album, it's like driving a truck up to the mint.
Anthony DeCurtis is a contributing editor at Rolling Stone magazine. Why do CDs cost as much as they do?
The music industry is not going to lower the price of CDs, even though the price of manufacturing them has declined. Partly it's because people have gotten used to spending what they're spending. Partly it's because the industry is in a slump and they don't want to lower the price.
You mean they like making that money, and so they're going to keep making that money?
Exactly.
But are they doing it illegally?
There's possibly billions of dollars being overcharged the American consumer.
Attorney Michael Hausfeld thinks the major record labels are conspiring to charge artificially high prices. And on behalf of consumers, he's filed a lawsuit accusing the major labels of price fixing. When I walk into the music store and buy a CD, how much more am I paying than I ought to be paying?
We think probably about $3 more.
And that money goes straight to the record companies.
Yeah.
How big an issue is this for the music industry? Well, consider this. Of the 6 major recording companies, not one would sit down and talk with us about how they price their CDs. And every single recording artist we contacted also told us that talking about CD prices is a no-win situation. $30.99?
Well, that's an original master recording, Pink Floyd. What do you expect?
You can expect the industry to figure out what you want and how badly you want it. One reason CD prices are so high is that you're willing to pay them.
First we were used to $14.98, then $15.98, now $17.98. It's a question of habit. And I think that when they come up again, there won't be a problem.
Need it, want it, must have it.
Must have it. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm spending all my hard-earned money on back.
As of Friday, the record companies named in the class action suit had not filed a response to the charges against them, and only one company spokesperson has commented publicly on the suit, saying the allegations are completely without merit.
Without merit. So, you're saying, are you pressuring us to buy CDs? I'm not pressuring you to buy CDs. It's your own choice to make. You want to buy the new Luke Combs CD, which is going to come out in March? It's your choice, digitally or however you want. But records, those little plastic things, black things, they're expensive. Like, I walked into Walmart and found a record that's like, not a record machine, the actual record. $30. You need one, I got it. I mean, you can expect the industry to ask what you want. If you want a band, then that's what you have to do. Don't poke the bear. Well, we're going to now take you into a juvenile correction center where you'll meet some inmates who have adult-sized rap sheets. And up next, Chris Cuomo is going to take you inside a juvenile correction center in Arizona, meeting those inmates. Please stay with us. children killing children or children acting up, committing crimes. In the past years, it's always happened in several states like Texas, Kentucky, Colorado, Oklahoma, etc. Each time, you may have wondered, what should society do with such troubled kids? Do you put them in prison or juvenile correction centers or do something else? Now, we told you about, you may remember last few seasons ago, we focused in on Dr. Ron Davidson, who had a mission to help out these troubled kids. We told you about the Rebound Corporation, or High Plains, where they housed lots of juveniles for lots of behavioral rap sheets. Tonight, another case in point. You're about to enter an Arizona juvenile detention center with lots of inmates. And one secret so painful that she won't say it out loud. Here's Chris Cuomo.
My name's Zard, 13. I was charged with a drive-by shooting.
They did not give it to me. I don't know. My name is Ashley. I'm 16. I was charged with disorderly conduct.
My name is Jesse, age 17, committing offense, manslaughter, felony 2.
My name is Joan. I'm 17 and I'm here for
These kids start out like any child, bright, loving, wanting to please. But somewhere along the line, something goes wrong. But as you'll see, there's more to them than meets the eye. 100,000 kids like this are currently locked up somewhere in the United States. All in their teens, many nearing 18. For these kids, this is the last stop and their last chance. Welcome to Arizona's Department of Juvenile Corrections. The bleak surroundings say it all. The routine is like any jail. Background checks, metal detectors, tension in the air. 300 boys at the Adobe Mountain School, 80 girls across the yard at the Black Canyon School, and just as many stories. Prime Time spent nearly 6 months following several kids as they wound their way in and out of what are called Arizona's safe schools. High security to keep the kids safe inside and also to keep them from getting out. Even though there's razor wire, pat-downs, and cell doors, there's opportunity here, even hope. The average stay here is 6 months. Staff struggle daily with the question of whether a kid can be fixed. Kids who do bad things, often for reasons that are tough to understand. Kids like Conrad.
My name's Conrad. I'm 16. I was charged with possession of paraphernalia.
The average kid in here has been arrested 8 times, and Conrad is no exception. On the surface, he looks like a cute kid, like Opie from Mayberry, but he isn't. What's the worst thing you've ever done?
Oh, I assaulted someone with a knife. He made me mad, so I hurt him.
Conrad came here just under 70 pounds, and the boy's rap sheet is taller than he is. He's been banned from all the mainstream schools in the state of Arizona because of numerous fights, thefts, weapons charges, drugs, and alcohol. What the record leaves out, though, is the most important question with all the kids here. Why?
I got hooked on drugs, doing drugs with my mom. And I came back out here and it just tore my life up. I grew up being abused, physically and emotionally, and mentally abused by my mom. And now, ever since I came out to Arizona, I've been a very, very angry kid.
Many kids make claims, but state records show Conrad's mother pled no contest to child cruelty, and Conrad was taken into state custody for stints when just a child. Conrad says he wants to change, but feels he can't. And as you'll see later, there may be a reason for that.
I'm a good person. I just make bad choices.
This is a
the state facility for girls in the state of Arizona.
The girls are housed across campus. According to Suzanne LaRue, their superintendent, they present unique challenges.
Our girls here, they're survivors. Just a lot of family abuse, incest, molestation, drug abuse. Parents are not available to them. Parents are locked up themselves. These are children.
For what? I'm not even driving.
Ashley is the face of an angry child. Her fury greets all who come near. But in reality, Ashley's anger is the flip side of pain. On this morning, Ashley cuts her head on her bunk waking up, but she fights any medical treatment.
You made any little stitches in
I am not getting stitches.
All right.
Hell no.
You seem very angry.
Yeah.
So what's it like inside there, dealing with all the anger?
I'm like a time bomb.
Like many here, it almost seems as if Ashley were born into pain. 96% of the kids have substance abuse problems. 60% have criminal histories in their family. Both are true for this teen.
My dad was smoking meth and smoking weed, and he'd leave it laying around, and it was there, and I was like, screw it, I'm gonna get high.
Still worse, Ashley claims she was molested. She won't say by whom, but she says this drove her delinquency, fighting and skipping school.
How often were you getting in trouble at your peak of performance?
Every day. I'd steal or I'd fight. I'd have the cops called on me every day.
Ashley is filled with intense self-hate. She's being treated with a mix of therapy and antidepressants. Throughout her life, she's tried to kill herself 7 times.
A lot of the times I did it because I wanted to die, but I did it sometimes just because I wanted to see how far I could go before I actually sent myself to the hospital.
She's playing a dangerous game to get the attention of her mother, the person who she says has hurt her the most, and yet whose love she most craves. There are daily group sessions like this here, allowing kids to open up and see they're not alone as victims.
Being here, it gives me someone to talk to, like counselors or psychs. And if I was on the outs, I wouldn't have that.
Ashley has taken to writing pain away, especially in letters to mom.
I told her that I hated her and I could care less what happened to her, and she's not my mother, she's just the person that gave birth to me.
Who loves you?
I don't know. So many people in my family have told me that they hate me and they don't want me around them. It's just, even when they do tell me they love me, I find it hard to believe. So.
Do you love you?
No.
Okay, now that we've heard from the inmates, when we come back, a visit to the juvenile schools, you'll also meet our guide who has a rap sheet the size of probably an adult or a kid. Stay with us. Returning to our story. You send your kids to juvie. Now, because of what's happened, because of their behavior, now in these kids' cases, they have adult-sized rap sheets because of their behavior. Now we're going to take you inside these juvenile correction centers with a guide who has a lot of charges paying up against him. Once again, here's Chris Cuomo.
Arizona's juvenile correction system is set up to be part prison, part school.
Any problems on physical contact?
You could be here for 2 years, you could be here for 3 months. It's on you.
It's a pretty friendly place during the day, but pretty formidable at night. A feeling that comes quickly when you're on the inside.
I'll show you where we'll stay tonight.
My home with the boys is Crossroads, the unit for violent offenders. Next to the cell I'll experience is 17-year-old Jesse.
You got 2 blankets, 2 sheets, stay shirt, stay shorts, stay pants, and stay socks.
I can see why you would be anxious to get out of this place. No offense, Mr. Superintendent. Many here regard Jesse as the school's real success story.
This is when the governor came. I was the president of the student council at the time. This is some of my members.
But Jesse has also been here the longest, since he was 15, with a horrific act in his past. What was the scariest moment for you?
The night I shot Alexis.
911, what is your emergency?
Oh my God, I'm not all over my hands.
Jesse's older brother was hosting a party, and Jesse's buddy, 19-year-old Alexis Acosta, was there. For some reason, Jesse says he wanted to impress Alexis, so he went to his brother's closet.
Sir, you need to calm down and give me the information, okay?
I just turned, cocked and fired.
Jesse says he grabbed what he thought was an unloaded shotgun.
I expected to hear a click and then show it off as a cool, little thing, but it was loaded.
Were you in complete control of your faculties?
Yes, I was. I wasn't drunk or anything. They gave me a breathalyzer test on site.
Ma'am, he's gone. He's dead.
Jesse swears it was all a terrible mistake, and the judge agreed. That's why he wasn't tried as an adult for murder.
There is no bringing Alexis back. He has been added to my motivation to become a greater person, so I can look up one day and say, Alexis, this is for you. I did this for you.
We spent some time, shot hoops before lights out, an activity that allows kids supervised play to see if they're learning to get along. Then we joked about my old school skills.
The last second, I pulled it back, requiring even more athleticism. Very true.
It's interesting to meet a kid who has killed someone who at the same time seems like the ideal son. So the boys here at the Crossroads unit, which is for the violent offenders, welcoming me by making noise here after lights out.
It's 5:45 a.m. I had a miserable night thanks to my cement bed and constant bed checks by flashlight happy guards, who say a kid can kill himself in just minutes. A lesson they learned the hard way. Just 2 years ago, 3 kids committed suicide right here in the space of several months. Federal investigators found widespread sexual and physical abuse throughout both the boys' and girls' schools. So in Arizona, there are new people in charge and a new mandate. Treat these kids like kids, not hardened criminals. Do you believe that corrections with respect to juveniles is where you want it to be? No, but we're on the right track. Last year, Arizona's governor cleaned house and appointed 30-year veteran Mike Branham to oversee a massive overhaul of the state's juvenile correction system.
We make sure that the kids can't hurt themselves and can't hurt other people while we figure out how to reach inside and help that child deal with whatever it is that's his or her issues. We can and do make a difference in the kids who can and will change.
Maybe the biggest difference between a prison and one of these schools deals with what happens in here. In jail, this would be called a cell, and you'd spend between 20 and 23 hours a day in here being punished, confined. This place works on the opposite idea. It is all about incarceration without confinement.
Tell me this, why would I pick Desert Regions for us to live?
Because we're living in the desert.
Amen, bro. Okay, good job.
One of the unique ways this school reaches these kids is its teaching methods.
Alrighty, I just want to talk about elevation and latitude.
For teenage boys, math is taught using cars.
So it's one home.
Most of these kids have grown up being embarrassed by learning disabilities and poor performance at school.
This guy's a good teacher.
So with kids like Conrad, education is all about confidence.
The staff, they don't treat me like I'm crap.
My name is Casey. I'm 16 years old. My charges were possession of marijuana, paraphernalia, and aggravated assault and violation of probation. That's all.
Over at the girls' facility, 16-year-old Casey is preparing for a very different type of education. She is 7 months pregnant when we meet, a child about to have a child. Behind the smile and the belly, a thief who looked for trouble.
Everybody thought I was so innocent and sweet. Oh, look at her, she's so cute. And I'm just looking at him like, yeah, you better watch your stuff, you know?
Casey's records show abuse by her convict father and years in protective custody. And although the father of her baby is a teenager too, somehow Casey sees this as a chance for a new beginning.
If I wasn't pregnant, I would be fighting. I wouldn't care. I would not care. But now I actually care, and I'm going to do what I need to do, and I'm going to get out, and I'm going to be a good mom.
But until she gets out, Casey will have to deal with life on the inside, which can be stressful in more ways than one.
Okay, now that we met Casey and talked about her pregnancy, coming up, we're going to hear more from these inmates and a secret so painful for one inmate that she'll tell it to Chris Cuomo. Stay with us. So far, you've seen one person, a young girl named Casey, about to have a child in prison. But there could be still hope. We're still into the girls area as they show us all about learning to get along with love. Here again, Chris Cuomo.
My lady's actually up and ready. Come on, Flora, Ashley, let's go.
Juvenile corrections isn't just about controlling violence. It's also about controlling emotions. A third of the kids here suffer from mental or emotional problems. Sometimes they can be treated with medicine, sometimes therapy. And for the girls who are victims of abuse, sometimes they find ways to help each other. In the girls' facility, there are 80 teens locked together without any boys. It's a combustible mixture fraught with peril and sometimes passion.
A lot of the females in here are gay.
They'll have a different girlfriend every week, every other day.
And that's something that you think they only do because they're here?
Yeah. That's the thing here. I'm gay for this day.
This behavior is part of life in adult prison, but it seems different in the juvenile world. Staff at the boys' facility say it's not an issue, and no boys said otherwise. But with the girls at this Arizona facility and elsewhere, part of the culture is what they call girlfriend drama.
Girlfriend drama.
A lot of girls get jealous of other girls and they want to start a fight.
They'll make comments when you walk by like, damn, look at that ass.
Officially, it is forbidden.
Please be appropriate in there, okay? If you want any problems, no physical contact.
But Counselor James Abercrombie admits the behavior is a common manifestation of emotional neediness.
It's about half of the girls that are in here. What I see that as is people that have a distorted view of what a relationship is.
For some of them, finding a girlfriend is creating a kind of substitute family.
The physical, sometimes it makes them feel loved.
None of the girls we spoke to said they were part of this subculture, but all acknowledged its presence and potential pitfalls.
Well, your pregnancy are kind of off limits now.
No. Doesn't matter if you're pregnant, it doesn't matter anything, they're going to try to get you. They will try and try and try until the day you leave.
On this night, I stay in the girls' facility.
It's now bedtime. All the girls have quieted down. There was this long ritual of people saying good night, I love you, good night, good night.
They're locked in and monitored constantly throughout the night. Privacy is not an option in this fragile environment. Back in the boys' section, Conrad is bouncing off the walls. He simply cannot control his emotions. He was finally diagnosed with bipolar and attention deficit disorders. And then there was a new form of treatment.
It's a mood stabilizer that they have me on.
The staff has identified an expensive drug called Trileptal that shows signs of helping. His family says Conrad finally seems under control.
We had a good visit. He was real, I don't know how to say it.
Nice, gentle.
Gentle, yeah. He's calmed down a whole lot. The medicine makes a big difference for him.
This is home for Conrad, where he'll return when he gets out. That's his stepmom. Remember, Conrad had major problems with his birth mother. Still, even with a more stable home life, when Conrad was released previously, his parents couldn't afford to keep up his prescription, and insurance wouldn't pay. Conrad quickly spun out of control, ending up back in his cell for the third time.
With his medication, I think he can survive in a normal lifestyle, but honestly, without it, I don't think he can.
We have some kids still in separation.
For Conrad and other kids who often cannot control themselves, violence is bound to occur. And when it does, the result is separation, the closest thing here to solitary confinement.
So when it comes to separation, they're going to be here because all other interventions haven't worked. You went after them because you were angry.
Nurit Friedlander runs the unit. It's the last resort when these volatile kids are a danger to others or even themselves.
So they will use anything they can to do self-injurious behavior.
To prevent suicide, the rooms contain just a bed and a toilet, and kids are often stripped of their clothes.
He takes his clothes and rips them off, and sometimes and tries to hang himself on the door hinges, so the psychologist ordered for his clothes to be removed from there.
So you sit here and you watch the kid on the monitor.
We watch kids on the monitor. We also walk the hallways, because it takes 2 to 5 minutes for youth to actually hang themselves.
Wasn't it the staff that you pushed too?
But separation isn't about isolation or punishment. Boys and girls are sent there for psychological evaluation and to do conflict resolution, to teach them how not to be violent.
We're trying to teach them the skills to remove themselves. Instead of going and punching Frankie in the face, what could have you done differently? Because if you don't teach them the skill, they're not going to have it when they get out on the outside.
When you got put in 3 years ago, when it all began, who was that person?
Very annoying, rowdy girl. I would never listen to staff. I was always getting in trouble somehow.
Geraldine, whose sweetness hides a chilling secret, has visited separation 6 times for fighting in her facility, but none in the past year.
I'm tired of getting in trouble. It's time for a change. It's time to move on.
She has an extensive record of offenses, including trespass, disorderly conduct, smoking pot, and habitual truancy. But now, after a 3-year sentence, she's just 4 days until freedom.
This is your favorite place here, right?
Yeah, it's like my sanctuary. I don't know, it's just being outside in the nature and taking care of something that grows, and I just love it.
Yesterday you said that you kind of saw yourself going through transformation like a plant since you've been here.
I was a seed, and now I'm a flower.
But Geraldine was sent here for more than mischief. There is something else, something she has hidden from all the other girls.
So when the girls say, "Why are you here?" what do you say?
I'm not going to tell you, so I might as well just give up on trying to guess.
What is Geraldine's big secret? When Primetime continues.
When we come back, what is Geraldine's big secret? That secret, along with the other inmates. As Chris Cuomo continues looking into these juvenile correctional centers in Arizona, where the lost children behind bars returns. Stay with us. Before we move on to the lost children behind bars, let's have some fun. It's time for FMBS.
You know what's bullshit? Warranties. You go to the store, you buy something, say a shitty pair of speakers for your computer, the cashier asks you if you want to buy a warranty with it. That should cover against malfunction or defects or whatnot. You say, no. What's the point anyway? If you take out the box and there's something wrong with it, you can usually return it anyway.
A warranty typically covers anything that may happen to it years from now. But if you drop it or damage it somehow accidentally, it won't cover that. No, only if it miraculously self-destructs on its own. And by the time it dies naturally, the warranty will be expired. One time I bought a video projector. The sales guy told me that the bulbs are really expensive and they cost hundreds of dollars to replace. So he sold me a warranty. He said that in case the bulb would burn out within 3 years, this warranty would entitle me to a replacement.
Sounded like a good plan. Well, just less than 3 years ago, the bulb burns out. So I take it back to the store with the warranty. None of the same people are working there anymore. They have no idea what I'm talking about.
I show them the warranty. The salespeople look at it. The cashiers look at it. The manager comes out and looks at it. Nobody has a fucking clue. I tell them it's supposed to cover the bulb. If the bulb burns out, I get a new one. The manager thinks it over, scratches his head, and comes to the conclusion that the warranty only covers manufacturer defect, anything but the bulb, and that the warranty may have been different 3 years ago when I bought it.
3 years ago, I bought a piece of paper. They sold me a piece of paper that would have gone to better use if I wiped my ass with it. My receipt did no good either. It was now just a reminder to the money I wasted. And that's bullshit.
But not BS is people who are in these juvenile correction centers. When we come back, the secret that one inmate will tell. Stay with us. We are now at a time where we're going to continue this tomorrow. Now, what will happen when one of the inmates goes out? What's going to happen with all the rest of the kids? And what is one inmate's secret that she's too afraid to hide it? She'll tell. Chris Cuomo. Here's a preview.
When primetime returns, a young girl finally tells our cameras her shocking secret, the one she's kept hidden from the other inmates for the past 3 years.
I'm here for
Primetime continues.
That's tomorrow. And there's lots of new changes going on. We're going to be looking at some viral videos. Part of viral, we're going to do viral break as we look at some old viral videos. In one case, someone takes a crap in the sink and the principal yells about sink crap. We could do that. We could do that tomorrow as we look at these changes. We look at some viral videos. That's all visitation to Give Me a Break Friday going to Saturday. We'll see you again for Give Me a Break Saturday night. And for all of us here at YouTube and Give Me a Break, I hope you've had a great day. And I hope you have a great National Chocolate Cake Day. And have a good night.